We extended our stay on the Central Coast for a logistical reset. We decided to take advantage of van life to work from the beach and took the boys to play off-leash at Avila Beach. While scouting earlier in the week on Tanuki, our Honda CRF 300L Rally, I noticed Avila has ample road parking for a long wheelbase Ford Transit sleeper van. Avila Beach exists in a highly specific microclimate known as a banana belt. Because it sits tucked into San Luis Obispo Bay, facing south and shielded by the Santa Lucia Mountains to the north, it typically registers 10 degrees warmer than neighboring Pismo Beach. Most visitors miss the industrial history here. Those picturesque piers were originally built by the Union Oil Company in the early 1900s to pipe crude from the San Joaquin Valley to offshore tankers. It is a sensory reset we desperately needed before the desert push. Before leaving California, I had to face a legendary rite of passage on the motorcycle: lane splitting. There is a significant confusion about the legal distinctions here. Under California Code 21658.1, California is the only U.S. state where motorcycles can legally travel between rows of moving or stopped traffic in the same lane. The legal landscape is shifting elsewhere. States like Arizona, Utah, Montana, and Colorado have recently legalized lane filtering, which is strictly defined as moving between stationary traffic at controlled intersections. For the 300L, survival comes down to the 15-mile-per-hour rule. In a highway crawl, you can navigate between the far left lanes, never exceeding the flow of traffic by more than 15 miles per hour. The objective is getting out of the crunch zone to avoid distracted rear-end collisions.
It's good getting on the bike. It's a beautiful day. This perforated Turbine jacket is like wearing almost nothing. I can feel the breeze. It feels great. Very happy with this purchase. I was able to get this jacket for, $200.
The town operates as a functioning Scandinavian time capsule. Skip the high-traffic tourist bakeries and route directly to the Copenhagen Sausage Garden. We spent the afternoon in the outdoor courtyard. While there, we spotted a rider equipped with a K9 Sport Sack Navigate, a frame-supported backpack that maintains structural stability for dogs at speed. It could be the next upgrade for our own pack logistics. We hit the Tehachapi via Highway 58 in total darkness, and the logistics immediately turned sideways. There are 0 secure, accessible campgrounds nearby without backtracking. This is a critical error when you need to be on location by sunrise. Tehachapi sits in the Tehachapi Mountains at an elevation of 3,970 feet. In winter, the wind off the Mojave Desert creates severe temperature drops. With no hookups available to supplement our battery banks, we executed a points pivot to a pet-friendly hotel in town. It ensured the dogs stayed warm and positioned us perfectly for the engineering show at daybreak.
We were not going to stay here. We were going to continue to keep going to Las Vegas. But once I heard about this train, I said, I must. So we stayed overnight at a hotel, the Fairfield. You'll see that if you go check out Instagram, find out all about the Fairfield Inn, and let's cross our fingers because really at 11 o'clock I have a class online. You have until 11.
The Tehachapi Loop, located in Solvang, California. Constructed in 1876 by 3,000 Chinese laborers using black powder and shovels, this National Historic Civil Engineering landmark gained 77 feet of elevation within a single 3,779-foot spiral. It fundamentally changed the freight economics of the American West. This is a pilgrimage site for rail enthusiasts and part of a global elite of spiral engineering. The network includes the Brusio Spiral Viaduct in Switzerland, a 9-arched stone structure where the same village church is visible from 3 distinct elevations. The Georgetown Loop in Colorado, where tracks cross over themselves on the Devil's Gate High Bridge, and the spiral tunnels in Canada's Kicking Horse Pass, which are bored directly into the mountain bedrock. Tehachapi remains the cinematic king because the entire Union Pacific Mojave subdivision is visible in the open air. We waited for hours, and just as we were ready to pull the plug, the ground started to hum. It was a double feature. 2 trains traveling in opposite directions, both exceeding the 4,000-foot length required to complete the spiral simultaneously. It is the only operational location on Earth where a train can look its own caboose in the eye. It's engineering precision at its finest. We traded the mountain silence for the Mojave Basin. Returning to Las Vegas is a homecoming. We are reconnecting with our crew from the early 2000s for the holidays. It is also a strictly tactical stop. We have to execute the Great Plate Exchange. We are retiring the New York plates and finalizing our South Dakota domicile. South Dakota is a hub for digital nomads because state law requires only a single 24-hour overnight stay to establish legal residency. We used a service called America's Mailbox to set up our PMB, or personal mailbox. This provided the required physical address to secure the new vehicle registrations and plates for both Kitsuni and Tanuki. The goodbye tour is concluding. The final Mexican prep is officially underway.